Carroll Edward Cole, May 9, 1938, December 6, 1985, was an American serial killer who was executed in 1985 for killing at least 15 women and 1 boy by strangulation between 1948 and 1980. Biography. Early life. Carroll Cole was born in Sioux City, Iowa, the second son of Laverne and Vesta Cole. His younger sister was born in 1939, and soon afterwards, his family moved to California, where Laverne found work in a shipyard. Not long after that, Laverne went to fight in World War II. While his father was away, his mother, who had several affairs and sometimes took Cole along to her rendezvous, threatening to beat him if he told his father. Vesta was emotionally abusive to Cole and dressed him as a girl. At school, he was teased about his girl's name by his peers. At age 8, he retaliated against one of his classmates, a boy of the same age named Dwayne, by drowning him in a lake in Richmond, California. The death was regarded an accident by authorities, until Cole confessed to it many years later in an autobiography he wrote in prison. During a press interview, Cole said of this event, "I was primed. I had made the mental commitment I was going to get even with my mother, and things just built up and became an obsession." As a teen, Cole committed several petty crimes and was frequently arrested for drunkenness and minor thefts. After high school, he joined the U.S. Army but was released under a bad conduct discharge in 1958 for stealing pistols. In 1960, Cole attacked 2 couples parked in cars on a lover's lane. Soon afterwards, he called the police in Richmond, California, where he was living, and told them that he was plagued by violent fantasies involving strangling women. Cole spent time in various mental hospitals over the next 3 years. At the last of them, Stockton State Hospital, a Dr. Weiss wrote, "He seems to be afraid of the female figure and cannot have intercourse with her first but must kill her before he can do it." Weiss approved his release in April 1963, despite hospital staff having diagnosed Cole with antisocial personality disorder. Upon his release, Cole moved to Dallas, Texas, where his brother Richard was living. There, he met and married an alcoholic stripper named Billy Whitworth, though this didn't change his perspective towards women. After 2 years, the marriage ended when Cole burned down a motel after convincing himself that Whitworth was having sex with men there. As a result, he was arrested for arson. Upon his release from prison, Cole attempted to strangle an 11-year-old girl in Missouri. He was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in prison. After the sentence was up, Cole ended up in Nevada, where he attempted to strangle 2 more women. Once again, he checked himself into a mental hospital. The doctors there noted his murderous fantasies but still elected not to detain him, and he was given a ticket back to San Diego. Murders. Cole's first victim as an adult was S.E.L. Buck, whom he'd picked up in a San Diego tavern on May 7, 1971. He strangled her to death in his car and drove around with her body in the trunk before eventually dumping it. Just 2 weeks later, he killed an unidentified woman and buried her in a wooded area. He later claimed that they had proven themselves unfaithful to their husbands, and so reminded him of his adulterous mother. In July 1973, Cole married barmaid Diana Faye Younglove Poshall, who was also an alcoholic. They argued and fought frequently, and Cole regularly went off on his own for days at a time. He would commit murders while he was away, including one woman he allegedly cannibalized to a degree. In September 1979, Cole strangled Poshall to death. A suspicious neighbor called the police 8 days later, but although they found Poshall's body wrapped in a blanket and stuffed in a closet, they decided that she had died because of her heavy drinking, and Cole was released without charge after questioning. Cole left San Diego and started moving around again. In 1979, Cole met Marie Cushman at a bar in Las Vegas. That same evening, the two went to a motel where they had sex. He then killed her by strangulation. Following the Las Vegas killing, he returned to Dallas, where he fatally strangled 3 more women in November 1980. Cole was a suspect in the second of these killings and was also found on the scene of the third murder. He was arrested and held in custody. The police then came to the conclusion that the victim had probably died of natural causes, and Cole was about to be ruled out as a suspect before he confessed to, along with this murder, all of the other killings. Cole claimed that he had murdered at least 14 women over the previous 9 years, although he added that there may have been more and he couldn't remember exactly, as he was usually drunk when he committed his crimes. Conviction and death. On April 9, 1981, Cole was convicted of 3 of the murders committed in Texas. He was sentenced to life at the Huntsville prison. In 1984, Cole's mother died and his attitude was reported to have changed. He agreed to face further murder charges filed in Nevada, even though it could possibly mean the death penalty. In February 1984, Cole was extradited to Nevada, where he was tried and convicted for the strangulation deaths of 2 women in 1977 and 1979. In October 1984, Cole was sentenced to death in Nevada. When his sentencing was passed, he said, "Thanks, Judge." Anti-death penalty campaigners, including the American Civil Liberties Union (ACLU), tried to have his sentence commuted, but Cole protested. Cole was executed by lethal injection at Nevada State Prison on December 6, 1985. See also List of serial killers in the United States. References. External links. Carroll Cole at the Crime Library. Carroll Cole interview. 1985.